to this video. So we'll be talking about JavaScript, what it is, what it can do, and why I should consider studying it or learning it. So if you haven't, please do hit the subscription button below before you continue this video. So let's move along. What's JavaScript? What is it? Okay, by definition, JavaScript is an object-oriented programming language commonly used to create interactive effects within the web browsers, whereas HTML are languages that give structure and style to web pages. JavaScript gives web pages interactive elements that engage a user. JavaScript is also in almost every website in the internet these days. It is a programming language that is simple to learn. So JavaScript offers an enhanced ability that basic languages like HTML and CSS can't, such as refreshing a Twitter feed, embedded YouTube videos, asynchronous loading of a web page, and many more. In other words, JavaScript brings life to every website, and this can keep a user coming back to the website. That said, JavaScript is meant to be used in other programming languages, and it's not a replacement for those languages. For instance, websites will still need to use HTML for basic structure, while CSS is required for formatting and layout preferences, as well as controlling how text, images, and other content on a web is presented. From there, JavaScript can enhance those elements, taking them from being static features to interactive and exciting ones. So you can actually consider this to be a human being. For example, a normal human being has a skeleton, has sinews and the flesh and the blood, and then it has the actions, the life when there's life. So uh, the skeleton can actually be referenced with the HTML aspect, while the CSS is the beauty, and then the JavaScript is the life, yeah, the action, the interactivity. So that's what JavaScript does. So enough with the definitions. Let's move into what JavaScript can actually be used for. So it can be used in web development. So it allows web pages to become more interactive in many ways, including displaying animations, making functional drop-down menus, uh, zooming in and out of web pages and images, or even changing button colors when the user's mouse over it. When you hover over a mouse, the JavaScript is commonly used for creating web pages. It allows us to make dynamic behavior to the web page and add special effects on the web page. On websites, it is mainly used for validation purposes. It helps us to execute complex actions and also enables the interaction of websites within the with visitors rather. So using JavaScript is also possible for to load the content in a document without reloading the page. That's basically asynchronous loading of a website. You can see these things in websites like Facebook or when you're chatting and all that. So let's move on. The next thing JavaScript can do for us. Yes, JavaScript is not just a language for the web, it can also be used to create a wide variety of web mobile applications. We can use frameworks of JavaScript such as Angular, React Native, Vue to create mobile applications uh, for different operating systems. So nowadays mobile devices are broadly used for accessing the internet. Uh, Using JavaScript, we can also build an application for non-web contents, the features, and use JavaScript to make it a powerful tool for creating mobile applications. So we do not require writing codes for the iOS and Android operating systems on different platforms. We only need to write it once and run it on different platforms. So you can see how powerful that thing is. It's so powerful. And the next thing JavaScript can do for us is gaming. Yes, JavaScript can also be used in gaming. JavaScript is used for creating games. It has various libraries and frameworks for creating games. The game can either be a 2D or 3D. So some JavaScript engines such as Physic, Physics.js and Pixie.js helps us to create web games. You can also use WebGL, that is Web Graphics Library, which is the JavaScript API to render 2D and 3D images on the browser. So you can also see how powerful these things are. Yeah, so let's move on to the next amazing thing JavaScript can do for presentations. What do I mean? Helps us to create presentations as websites. Libraries such as Review.js and BestSpoke.js can be used to create a website, a web-based slide decks, just like you see in the image here, something that slides over. So they are easier to use, so we can easily make something amazing in a short time. So the Review.js is used to create interactive and beautiful slide decks with the help of HTML. These presentations work great with mobile devices and tablets. Um, it also supports all of the CSS color formats. Yeah, it does. And the best Spoke.js includes animated bullet lists, responsive scaling, and a wide variety of features. And last but not the least, what it can do for us is in web servers and applications. This can be created using Node.js. So Node.js is event-driven, not it's a part of JavaScript. It's a framework of JavaScript. It is event-driven. Uh, no, and not wait for the response of the previous call. Doesn't wait for the response of the previous call to finish loading. It's fast and doesn't use buffering and other transfer chunks of data. With Node.js is a server-side language. So the Node.js provides an environment containing the necessary tools required for JavaScript to run on the server. So you can actually create databases and all sorts of things, and it's just like languages like PHP, MySQL. Node.js is a framework of JavaScript that does those kind of things. And lastly, JavaScript. Oh my wow, it is the most popular language. Could you imagine? So JavaScript is the most popular language. It uses a client-side programming language by 97% of all websites. So the 97% of all websites you see these days on the internet is built. It has JavaScript with it. So JavaScript is awesome. So if you now when you want to go into web development, you need to study JavaScript. So good luck as you decide to start your journey into the programming language of JavaScript. Please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Also hit the bell so that new notifications can be brought to you on my new videos. Thanks for watching once again, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.